today. Don't mind me if all of a sudden I scream. I have the Creighton and San Diego State game on. We're in the final minute here, under a minute, and I have San Diego State plus the 2.5 with the sprinkle on the money line. They are up 56-54, so keep your fingers crossed for San Diego State if you're riding them with me here, as it looks like Creighton. Oh, they missed that basket. Okay. I might scream. We do have one game on the ice in progress right now. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the Arizona Coyotes. Now, if you got my post on this game, I am writing the Arizona Coyotes plus the 1.5 with a sprinkle on that money line. So we are in the second period right now, 10 minutes left in that second period. And we have seen a goal out of the Avs. Now, in that first period, wasn't watching the game, you guys. It was live on Sports Grid, but both teams only had 5 shots on goal apiece. Coming into this second period, unbelievably strong defense we're seeing out of both of these teams in this game. Big shout out to you, Gil. Thanks for being here on this beautiful Sunday. So much going on today. Lots happening on the ice. So let's break down the rest of the games here today. Nice to see you, Matt. Appreciate you joining. And the real deal. Good to see you too. Yeah, the 5 shots on goal each. Yeah, in the first period. Both teams only had 5 shots on goal. Absolutely insane to see. I never would have expected that. Maybe on the Arizona Coyotes. We look at the Coyotes, and they're a team that don't get a lot of shots on goal. They do average more than normally 5 shots in a period. So really strong defensively for them to limit the Colorado Avalanche, who do put up a lot more shots on the regular. Let's look at the next game here with the Boston Bruins kicking off versus the Carolina Hurricanes. 5 o'clock Eastern matchup here. We have total dropped down to 5.5. I had got it at the under 6 before. Now, if you want to hit it under 5.5, it's coming in at minus 124. I do think this is a 2-1 style game or a 3-2 style game. We know how scary it is taking those unders, but we look at this matchup. Boston's coming in as a dog at plus 125, and I know it's so tempting to jump on Boston here, and I hate stepping in front of the Boston Bruins, but I do think Carolina is the right side in this one. Remember, they're still battling it out here for the Metro, and we look at the Boston Bruins. They have clinched the Atlantic. They've struggled as well in Carolina, unable to win any of the last 6 games in Carolina. Carolina coming in at minus 150. Could this be 1-1 going to overtime? Absolutely. So I don't love it in regulation, but I do think this is one where Carolina can get the win. What does Boston have to play for in this game? And yes, they do want to come out strong, beat a team like Carolina, but the chance of getting injuries does worry me here for the Boston Bruins. I don't think we will see them flying out here, especially against a team that they have struggled to beat in games in which you got to remember also they had a lot more to play for. I know it is scary taking those unders at 5.5. I got it at 6. If you guys want to buy it up to that number of 6, I would not blame you at all. The next game on the board, we got the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Nashville Predators. 6 o'clock Eastern matchup here. Now, the Leafs coming in as the favorite in this one right now on the money line. Minus 194. So that has jumped extremely from this morning. They were minus 170 before. The Preds at plus 160. Total sitting solid at 6.5 to the over. Like juice at minus 102. If you like the Leafs on that puck line, minus 1.5 at plus 132. What I'm going to do in this one is automatically I like this one in the first period. You guys know I love those first periods over 1.5 and both teams to score when there's too much juice. I do think the Toronto Maple Leafs off a loss are deadly. We will see them come out with a really strong effort here. Joseph Woll expected in goal for them. Now, he is a backup goalie. He's 2-1 on the season for them, but he has a 2.03 goals against average. So I do think this is a game that we can see him let those goals come in, but one where he could really do enough here for Toronto to get the win. Now, when we look at the Nashville Predators, they do not average a lot of shots on goal. They're coming in under that 30. And only averaging that 2.77. But I do think this team is fighting for way too much. Both these teams also on that back-to-back. I do think this is a competitive, high-scoring one. Am I willing to take the Predators? I don't know if I will, but I will look at Tyson Barrie for an anytime goal. I think he will come out strong for the Preds. And looking at Toronto here, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Nylander, all so strong The amount of shots on goal they had in the last game last night versus the Canes was absolutely phenomenal. It hit into the 40s. I do think you could look at all of those guys for their shots on goal as well. Yeah, Nashville might be in a look ahead versus the Bruins, but they need every win they can absolutely get. So while I do look at look ahead spots, I think Nashville is just in one of those scary situations where they can't look ahead. They need everything as Creighton ties it up with San Diego State. I tell you guys, I'm going to lose it if San Diego State can't at least cover the spread. I do think they get this win. Austin Matthews, yeah, look at his player props in this one. Look at him for those shots on goal. The anytime goal as well. Again, I think this is a high-scoring one. We're going to see the goals coming in this game. So I'm going to ride with that as well. I think Creighton and San Diego State might go to OT here. We have 10 seconds left. 6 on that shot clock. Man, I tell you, panicking here in this game as we talk, you guys. So don't mind me. The Vancouver Canucks and the Chicago Blackhawks, 6 o'clock Eastern matchup here. Now looking at this one, Vancouver, they won their last 2 games. They got the upset win over the Dallas Stars last night. That was a 3-1 win. We've seen the Chicago Blackhawks trending in the opposite direction. They have lost their last 4 games. They lost last night to the Minnesota Wild, and they're coming here back home off a 5-game road trip. They've been on the road forever, and now they're at home off a back-to-back. They were in Minnesota. I am fading the Chicago Blackhawks hard in this one today. I do think with what we've seen out of the Vancouver Canucks, out of their defense as of late, this is one where the Vancouver Canucks can come in and cover that puck line. Right now, looking at the Vancouver Canucks on the puck line, -1.5 is at +132, and I absolutely think that is the way to go with this game. You could look at their team total as well, and while I do think this could be a spot where it's a letdown off a big emotional win, I don't see it because the Chicago Blackhawks just are in a terrible position for them to get the win in this one. If you're a little hesitant with the puck line here, I would look maybe at taking the Vancouver Canucks team total over that number, which is a nice way to go because we know they're going to score the goals. This team has been so strong offensively. They are tightening up defensively. So I do think we have a nice play in this one. Yeah, Wild at the top of their division. Let's look at the next game on the board, you guys. We're flying through this. We got 6 seconds left in this basketball game. Man, I tell you, stressing me out just a little here as these 2 teams are at a break. We have the St. Louis Blues taking on the LA Kings. Now the LA Kings are -250. They were -200 earlier or later last night. Now -250 here on the puck line, -1.5 at +114, plus 202 here for the St. Louis Blues if you think this team has a hope in hell today, and +1.5 at -137. Now we know that LA Kings have let us down in some situations on that puck line. I am a little nervous on the LA Kings on the puck line. We got a total of 6.5. Hitting it to the over at -115, hitting it to the under at -105. And I am a little concerned about what we'll see out of the St. Louis Blues defense. Offensively today, they are on that back-to-back. And we know this LA Kings team is so strong and can lock opponents down. Here is my worry for the LA Kings, and I think is why it's going to be a stay off. Now, both these teams on the back-to-back with the LA Kings getting the win over the Jets yesterday. That was a 4-1. Nice win, only -120 favorites. Again, that line scared me. They're giving us such nice odds on the Kings. Not in this game, though, with the St. Louis Blues off the big win over the Ducks. Now, that game was last night. They got the 6-3 win. Hard schedule ahead for the LA Kings. And this is where, as I pause, because we got San Diego State throwing in the ball here, they got to get this one up. If they can get the basket here, you guys, this is a game San Diego State. No, they couldn't get it. We are going to overtime in this. Okay, I can focus on hockey. Now we're going to overtime in this game. We look at this one for the LA Kings, okay? Look at their schedule ahead. And this is where I am so stressed in this game. They have a road trip on deck. I believe it starts on Tuesday in Calgary. So they have Calgary, Edmonton, Seattle, and then the Canucks. And then they return home. It doesn't get any easier. Once home, they face the Oilers, the Knights, the Avs, and the Canucks. So their next set of games, they have a really hard schedule, road and at home. I do think this has a possibility of letdown for the Kings, but to what extent is my issue? And that's why I'm looking at kind of a stale. They should win this. They should dominate this one. I do think they could lock down the St. Louis Blues defensively and score the goals in this game. I just don't have enough confidence in this game to know where their mindset's going to be at with a road trip on deck. Yes, they need every single win. So if they come out and win this and dominate this, I would not be surprised. If they go over their team total and let me just look at their team total, because I think that is where we have our safest bet, looking at their team total instead of that puck line. I do think Phoenix Copley, if in goal, he will have a good game today. Over 3.5, and that's the problem. We're not getting any value, the over 3.5 at -144. So if you need to hit this game, I would look for the Kings to win this one, but I could see a 4-1 style game. I just don't see the St. Louis Blues getting those goals. And actually, let's fade the St. Louis Blues here. Hitting them under 2.5 goals in this one is -104. They're coming off a big win over the Ducks. They got 6 goals in that one. I do not expect this to be a game where St. Louis can play nice and strong. So give me St. Louis under 2.5 goals. I'd look at that first period as well, looking at that under 1.5. I just don't see it happening. I don't see St. Louis getting things done. I am so glad that you hit that, Gary, on that Stars Canucks game. Did you hit Casey DeSmith as well? You played pretty solid last night, so I was pretty impressed with what I have seen. And Jason, I agree with you. The St. Louis Blues should be absolutely gassed in this game after playing the Ducks last night. I just don't know where the mindset is of the LA Kings, and that's what scares me in this game. I really hope they do lock down defensively and we don't see that defensive performance, but we know that teams off that back-to-back, especially teams like the St. Louis Blues, who allow a lot of goals to come in, as we have San Diego State at the free throw line. I can never say that. They missed it. I don't know what is happening, you guys. I thought we were going to OT. I'm a little stressed with this. We'll see what happens. There's 1.2 seconds on the clock, and he has missed that, which means unless he got the second one, San Diego State is up 57-56. Okay, parlay time. Let's do it, you guys. Thank you for getting me back on track, Gil. Getting a little distracted there. Let's just look at that game between Colorado. If I can find my book here. Okay, Colorado is up 2-0 over the Arizona Coyotes. Not what I want to see, but I think if you jump in on the Coyotes plus 2.5 at plus 138, I think there is a ton of value there. We know they can keep it tight. You guys, it looks like San Diego State just pulled off the upset, but there's a lot of yelling happening on the court right now. I'm not sure exactly what is going on, but it looks like San Diego State might have won. They are playing replays. Okay, I'm going to breathe for a second. Let's look at this one here. Colorado up. I would grab Arizona plus 2.5 at plus 136. Let's build this parlay with the rest of the games, you guys. We look at the Boston Bruins taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, in this one, I do like the under at 5.5. It is a little scary. If you guys buy that up to 6, put the Bruins and the Canes under 6 for the full game for the parlay. I do think, though, we see the goals in that first period. Taking that first period over 1.5, I do think is a solid way to go. Also, taking that first period, both teams to score. We know these goalies, when they let something in, it comes first. In that first half. I like when I'm distracted. Yeah, I am totally distracted, Anthony, here. I do think we can look at Sebastian Aho for the Carolina Hurricanes to be able to score an anytime goal here. He is strong versus the Bruins, and the Bruins really have struggled in Carolina. I would look at Carolina at this short price as well. I do think they possibly can pull off another win. Boston unable to win the last 6 there. Looking at the next one, the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Nashville Predators. Looking at this game, I do think the first period goes over. I'm going to throw that into the parlay. Toronto versus the Predators, over 1.5 in the first period. But for a best bet, give me both teams to score in the first period. We know Toronto is going to come out so pissed off a loss. This team is electric off a loss. They should come out strong in this game, but the Predators are fighting for a lot. So I do think this one goes over that total of 6.5. I think we have a high scoring game. I think that first period over 1.5, also a really solid way to go. Look at Tyson Barrie for an anytime goal for the Nashville Predators, or his shots on goal. Austin Matthews, shots on goal. Mitch Marner, shots on goal. Nylander. All three of those guys will come out and have an absolutely phenomenal game here off that loss. Now, looking at the Vancouver Canucks and the Chicago Blackhawks, give me Vancouver for the parlay straight up on the money line. You guys know I love them on the puck line with that plus money today, taking the Vancouver Canucks -1.5 for, I believe it's +132, I think is a phenomenal way to go. I would look at that first period for those goals to come in as well. We're not getting as much value, and I don't know if the Chicago Blackhawks can score in that first period. So looking at Vancouver on that puck line in that first period, laying a half a goal, I think is another really solid way to go with this game. The Canucks team total also, if you're a little hesitant on that puck line, look at their team total over 3.5. But again, it is going to be juicy in this game. The Chicago Blackhawks, automatic fade spot for me here. They've lost their last 5 on the road. We're getting the official ruling here. San Diego State has won it, you guys. Oh my God, I love that sprinkle on that money line. Okay. Oh my God, they are moving on. San Diego State is moving on to the Final Four. This is the first time in school history San Diego State has moved on. And oh my God, it hurts my heart for Creighton looking at their players' faces right now. Okay, let's get back to hockey before I tear up a little. I hate seeing teams lose. Okay, so we're taking Vancouver on the money line for the parlay. I like them big today. I think they have a fantastic one. The LA Kings and the St. Louis Blues, you guys. The LA Kings coming in here on a back-to-back. Same with this, or sorry. Yeah, they had the back-to-back. They're hitting the road, both these teams. Tired legs, but I do think this is one where the St. Louis Blues are going to be more tired. Going to take their team total under 2.5. I don't see the goals coming in. We have the Kings in a little bit of a look-ahead situation, so that's where my fear comes for the Kings. For the parlay, I'm going to take the Kings on the money line. They better not be the team that lets me down for my parlay today with a look-ahead situation, but I do think that the Kings have every ability to get this win and should be the team that comes out and get this win. I can't trust the St. Louis Blues. They're not a solid team. The Kings are the better one, but really hard schedule on deck for the LA Kings. I'm so excited San Diego won. Okay, so the recap of that parlay, you guys, the Bruins and the Canes under 6, Toronto and the Predators first period over 1.5, Vancouver on the money line, and the LA Kings on the money line. San Diego freaking State got the win, moving on to the Final Four. I am happy girl. I'm going to go watch the Texas-Miami game. Guys, I don't see the upset coming in the next game. I'm taking Texas, laying the 3.5. I just think they are going to be the stronger team. Oh, I can't even watch my TV. You got the moms crying in the stands and everything. Just not what I want to see. But I do think Texas takes the next game. It's coming up in the next little bit. I will maybe go live from the pub, so you guys stay tuned. I want to wish you all the best in all of your bets today. My favorite bet here of the night in hockey, it's got to be Vancouver laying the 1.5 at +132. I believe it's at now. We were getting a little bit more value before, but I do think Vancouver has a phenomenal day here. You guys have a good one. Keep smiling. Oh my God, yes, Jabari Rice over 14.5 points. Now, this was coming in. Let's just see what it's coming in at. I did see some movement on that line, and I did see his points getting juiced up a little bit. So let's just see what it did move to. It's -122. So I still think it is a great way to go with Jabari Rice over 14.5 at -122 for Texas today. He is going to be pivotal, Gil, in this game for Texas to come out strong. It's going to be a good one. That's your Almada. I am so happy to hear that, Anthony. Congratulations. First time in the Final Four. I love San Diego State. The heart we've seen out of this team. And I was so worried coming into this game. That first half, I thought they would win the first half and then be up, because I really did think defense would show up straight out of the gate, but they played a phenomenal game, able to get that win. So I am so impressed. You guys, that's it. Remember, MLB show will be starting on Thursday with the kickoff, so stay tuned for that. We still need to decide a name. We need to decide a time. So many things to decide and how many games we're going to go over each and every day. So hit that subscribe button so you know what's happening, because as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. Also, for those bets that I cannot get out to you when I'm doing shows like Sports Grid and can't get Pikkit with Joe up in time, I am making posts for you guys so that you're not missing out on some of these plays here. You guys, have a good one. Keep smiling. I'm headed to the pub. I'm going to go celebrate this San Diego State win. And fingers crossed Texas gets the win as well. They're the last team in my Final Four left in my bracket. Not going to lie, those brackets were done for me. I had Alabama. Come on, I had Purdue. I thought Purdue would get deeper. And I had Kansas. So my brackets got totally screwed except for Texas coming through. But these picks game by game have been going solid. I now am 9-2 in the last 11 picks. If Texas hits, we're going to be 10-2. So fingers crossed, you guys. Have a good one. Keep smiling. I'll join you tomorrow for another Pikkit with Joe. Same time, 3:30 Eastern.